behind the scenes of Jennifer Garner's new show. The Last Thing He Told Me, which is based on the same-named novel, stars Jennifer Garner as Hannah, a woman who must adjust to life while caring for a teenager while she looks for her missing husband. Here, the celebrity discusses her decision to take on the new show on our Backstage podcast. However, in her most recent part in the miniseries The Last Thing He Told Me, the actress plays Hannah, a lady who finds herself suddenly in charge of her teenage stepdaughter Bailey, who is played by Angry Rice, after her husband vanishes, leaving her to try to figure out what occurred while providing for her. Playing the role of the character, who isn't at all maternal, was difficult, according to Garner on the Backstage podcast. For me, it was incredibly difficult, she admitted. That was not a natural thing to do. Angry is so endearing and beautiful that I just wanted to wrap my arm around her. I was thankful that she kept me on track even though I wanted to be really cozy with her. The first 2 episodes, she wouldn't even look at me. The show focuses on the growing bond between the stepmother and her kid and examines the notion that being a parent doesn't require you to consider yourself a natural parent. Being a great parent sometimes just means being willing to have the difficult conversations that nobody else wants to have, according to Garner. A lot of the time, it's just about trusting your own instincts, as confusing as they may be and as much as they may be contrary to what everyone else is telling you, says the author. Sometimes it's just about being the grown-up in the room. The bestseller written by Laura Dave, The Last Thing He Told Me, was published in 2021. The attraction, according to Garner, was the relationship between 2 female characters from different generations, even though it's unusual for a television show to do so. The fact that the show constantly surprises you, you anticipate one thing, and then it turns out to be another, all the time, even the thriller element just keeps turning on a dime. She spoke. But I must admit that I was particularly pulled to the romance between the 2 women in this novel. As though Garner claims she didn't always identify with her character, she claims to have learned from her and has taken up Hannah's passion of wood turning. She's very still, and I'm very still. She's really fairly peaceful and motionless, whereas I'm more like a puppy, and I've learned to sit back and listen, she remarked. I actually used wood turning as a means of finding Hannah, and it was there that I discovered her calm. I did wood turning for months on end, and I finally did it last week. I adore it. It has replaced my previous favorite hobby. But you have to be so still, calm, and just focused when you have a lathe running, 500 RPMs, and you have a wood gouge and a wood block, and that's where I think Hannah sits for me, in that space.